Hello and good afternoon car buyers, I'm Neil Pinkett from Bathcars and today's car is the Vauxhall Astra. This is the 1.6 8-valve engine, 5-door hatchback, and it's the Active model. I'm not quite sure what the difference between that and an LS is, but I think there's a few little things that make it a little bit more attractive. It's on the 53 registration, and importantly it's just had 2 owners from new. And basically the first owner had it up to about 19,000 miles in the first 3 years, so it had a very easy life for the first 3 years. And then the second keeper's obviously run up some pretty decent miles on it, probably more than likely just up and down the motorway, because it does drive absolutely brilliantly actually. It's a really nice smooth drive, one of the best 8-valvers I've driven actually. So here we go then, we're going to wander around this car and tell you all about it. So basically, essentially it's a clean, straight, tidy car, and on a 30-mile test drive I've driven it, it hasn't got any faults with it. The car's nice and warm and dry, and it starts well. Everything works as it should. It does have air conditioning. I haven't had a chance to hit the button yet. We'll have a look at that in a moment. One thing attracted it to me, it had Seaward, the supplying main Vauxhall dealers, front number plate and rear number plate and tax disc holder still on it. So from the day this car had its PDI inspection, it hasn't had any action front and rear. There are alloy wheels, and we'll go around the tyres. So front near side tyre, well, he's not far off the legal limit actually. The wear bars are just starting to get touched, so it's not quite in need of a tyre yet, but this car does need an MOT, so that will obviously throw up on the MOT. But I can tell you the discs and the pads are good in there. There's no drums on the back. Pads are about a bit better than about a third worn on the front actually. That tyre there is about half worn, that's fine. The lights are all, side lights are working on the back, yeah, that's fine, and the number plate lights are working. All this is obviously for the MOT. There is a decent spare tyre in the back there with plenty of tread on it. Steel wheel, not an alloy. Has a rear wash wiper, although that's not working at the moment, so maybe the fuse is gone. There we are, supplying dealer Seaward, and the sticker on the back there as well. So good genuine car. Petrol, tyre on the rear here. Oh, that's a good tyre that is. He's about 20% worn, if that. And the front tyre here again, not far off the wear bar, probably will pass MOT, but getting on the limit. There's a scuff to the front bumper, which most of that majority will polish off, that black there, and just a tiny bit of touch in required there, so we'll sort that. Okay, let's go and have a look at the documents, what we've got. Okay, welcome to the documents then for this Vauxhall Astra Active. So we can see the car's had 2 private keepers from new, a gentleman and a lady. And the previous keeper purchased the car in August 2008, so he's had it for some time. Registration date is 31st of the 10th, 2003. Astra Active, 5-door petrol car, 1598cc, 172 grams per kilometre. Silver is the colour, so just 2 owners on the 53 registration. The MOT certificate, well, there are some previous MOT certificates, but the current one shows the expiry date of 29/12. But we will be putting a new MOT on that, and it's covered 9,000 miles since the last MOT. Had a couple of advisories and a brake lever as little reserve travel, but that all looks pretty okay, and the front direction indicators all seem fine. Okay, so that's the current MOT. As I say, a new one will go with it, and then we've got a few little bills here, previous MOTs. In 2011 November, so just a year ago, it had a anti-roll bar link wiper and a couple of bulbs. That was done at 104, so that was obviously for the MOT. And it had front brake discs fitted. Date 2010 by the looks of it. Hang on a second. Yeah, November 2010. And that was £176. There is a service book. All the owner's manuals are with the car. Just 1 key, I'm afraid. Just 1 key with it. And there is some service history here. 4,500, 9,000, 15,000 and 19,000. So essentially 4 stamps in the book up to the change of ownership in 2007, of which it had done 19k. They're all main dealer stamps there in the book. So clearly the previous keeper has probably embarked on just servicing the car himself, or hasn't left the book to be stamped. We are selling it as a warranted mileage car, and as I said to you, it does drive very well indeed. So there we go, that's the docs. Let's return back to the car. Okay, welcome back. There are locking wheel nuts with the car, and they're present and correct in the glove compartment. In the back of the car here we've got manual windows, we've got an 8-speaker hi-fi, map pockets in the back of the seats. Anything in there? I've just picked it up from the valises, so I haven't really sort of been through it too much. A few little bits and bobs. What have we got? Just some old rubbish. Let's get rid of that. So that'll go in the bin. So map pockets in the back here. Ashtray, which looks like it's stuck. Someone's put it in wrong by the looks of it. I know the lid's gone wrong, so I'll rectify that later and cut that bit of thread off. Right, it's fairly dry. Sorry, fairly dry. It's nice and warm and dry in here, but the seats are pretty reasonable conditions. A little bit of grim in the middle there, but not too bad. And they're all okay. And some carpet mats in there. Just had a light valet this car. Over the car there is some sort of like markings in the lacquer. It's a bit odd. Maybe it's just the weather that's bringing it up, but all seems okay. Corrosion wise, there's no corrosion as such to speak of in the arches, etc. Height adjustable driver's seat. Again, pedal rubbers in good order. Electric windows on the front, they're all working fine. Has remote central locking. Sadly there is just one key if I'm not mistaken, and we will need a new battery for the remote, so I'll sort that, but the remote is the central locking is working on the key at the moment. Okay, that car starts up perfectly. There's no rattles or horrible noises from the engine. The heater's working fine. This Active has a SRI style leather bound steering wheel with fingertip control hi-fi. There is aircon. Let's just have a quick listen, see if the compressor clicks in. Yes, it is. Compressor's clicking in, so gas is in there, should blow nice and cold in the summer. There's all the owner's manuals, including the radio code and all the owner's books. The passenger seat is in really nice order. Down through the middle here, the handbrake's got no excessive travel and moves freely. Gear change was all excellent on the way back, and then the clutch bites just as I would expect it to. There's a radio CD that works fine, and a head-up display there with a temperature gauge. The fuel gauge and the temperature gauge works fine there, and all the washers, wipers are all working as they should. As I said to you, the rear wash wiper, the washer's working but not the rear wiper, so I'll check into that and see if it's just a fuse. Electric windows zoom up and down nicely, and they're tinted glass as well, as you can see. Courtesy lights, yep, they're all working fine. We've got plenty of courtesy lights in the back there as well, and the ones on the front. Okay, she's not a bad car, drives well, alloy wheels, loads of Astras about, so you can get cheap spares and parts, etc. It's had a new headlight on that side, and the other one's the original, I suspect, but there's a brand new headlight just mounted in there, must have got cracked at some point. Half decent looking Astra, right? So with a new MOT, should make a good car for somebody. Speak to you soon, bye bye.